Hey guys, Marmalade here with Marmalade Outdoors, and welcome to episode 14 of what I've learned on the PCT. And just welcome. I can't believe we already have 14. We have actually got a decent amount of questions last time, so keep them coming. We have another 4, of course. And before we get going, please consider supporting the channel by subscribing, liking the video if you enjoyed it, and hitting the notification bell in the upper right if you'd like to be notified every time I have one of these videos come out. It's absolutely free, and it really helps us out. It helps the algorithms. And without further ado, let's get on with question number 1. All right, my first question is from a friend with Wolf Adventures. How many ibuprofen do you typically keep in your first aid kit? So I don't have it with me, but I use a snack size Ziploc bag. It's kind of smaller. I keep it in my waist belt pocket. And if I'm through hiking or doing a significant section, and also being a little bit older and getting the aches and pains, I carry quite a few. I bet you at least 20 or 30. For me, they're small, they're light. I tend to use a leave. I mean, any ibuprofen works, but I found that this stuff really works well for me. You can buy a big old thing of it at Costco for not too much. But yeah, so I do carry 20 to 30, and then sometimes what I'll do is put another 10 to 20 in small baggies in my resupply boxes down the trail. Something I've done in the past you might consider, you can buy, it's kind of pricey, it's like $30 for a bottle of 100. I got them at REI, but you can, I just kind of went through mine from the last year, but you can get a combo of salt tablets, and in there is some caffeine and electrolyte, so it's kind of a mix of all that, or you can get one or the other. You can get just tablets that are just salt. I know you can get them on Amazon. Or electrolytes. I dip the powder in my drink, so that's what I like. But yeah, I mean, I think that helps, and some have caffeine, like I said. All right, my second question is from, I hope I pronounced this right, Steve Alcocer. Is there any tricks on dealing with poison oak on the trail? So obviously it's not everywhere. I'm born and raised in California. I grew up in the Bay Area in Northern California, where it was everywhere, and it's spotty down here in Southern California, and of course in between, kind of everywhere has some form of it. I think it's kind of like what I did with animals. I think if you are not used to it, you're not around it, I think it's really wise to study it before you go on a hike. Like, that's what I do, is find out not only the animals and what can be harmful, and how to that's what I did, how to act towards animals, but the same with plant material. How do you know? It's famous for having 3 leaves on it, but there's lots of plants in California that have 3 leaves. So I think it's important to understand what it looks like, the physical size it usually gets to. I know later in the year it starts turning red, from green to red, and so you can kind of tell colors. But I think there's no tricks. I think you just have to be educated on what the plant material is and how to act towards it. Also in Southern California, there's something that's that's known as being maybe 4 times as strong as poison oak, and that's poodle dog bush. I'll try to show a picture here somewhere. And it only grows, you find it, I found it on the PCT around the trail on old fire burns. So when an area is burned, it's all black and charcoal. It loves that kind of area, and that's where it starts to grow. It's actually kind of a pretty plant. It kind of looks like marijuana a little bit. It has a purple flower, and it has a distinct odor or smell. And it's not a bad smell, but you can tell once you smelled it, when you see it in the future, because you'll have seen it before. But you do not want to get near that stuff. It's 4 times nastier than poison oak. Not even things like, you have to be very aware, not even like things like getting your hiking pole or some piece of gear touching the plant, because then eventually you're going to touch that, it's going to get on you or somebody else. So just really, really pay attention on those two plants, and you should be okay for the most part, at least in Southern California. All right, question number 3 is from Dave N. And he asked, speaking of bugs, how are they in Section A in October and November? So, what's amazing about being in the desert is, I think because it's so dry, what attracts bugs mostly is moisture, right? When you have mosquitoes, it's because it's the part of the year when snow melts and there's lots of water around. Well, that is a problem generally in the desert. So, I'm trying to think if I've seen bugs. There was a weird year where, and I've since never seen them, but black flies, not the little black flies you see on the East Coast that ate me alive, but they're bigger, like black, they're kind of like horse flies, I guess you'd call them. And they sting or bite or whatever they do. I had one hike going from Warner Springs up to Mike's place where they were attacking me if I stopped for a break. So I had to literally do 18 miles straight because I couldn't stop. But that was like a kind of a anomaly. It was just this one time, but No, there's really no bugs that I know. I mean, there's creepy crawlies and insects and things like that, but biting, flying insects, I don't. I mean, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but especially in the fall, right? The spring you have lots of water, and so you're gonna tend to see more bugs. But even then, you don't see any kind of biting bugs. There might be a few flies and things like that, but that's it. But as the season goes on, there's less and less and less water in the desert. So in Section A is the desert. So by October and November starts to cool down a little bit. It'd be nice at nights. But as far as I can remember, I've never seen any bugs. All right, the fourth and final question is from Joaquin Munoz. How's the Arcol Ultra by Zpacks working out? Highly considering this pack as I look to significantly reduce my base weight. And then he put in parentheses, upgrading from Osprey Athos AG 65 liter. So I'm glad you asked me this because I've done an unboxing of it. I think I've done one with about 500 miles, but I've got a lot more miles on it. So maybe I'll do another video down the road about how much I like it. I've loved it. Now, if you guys followed my thru hike at all, I used it like on 2 short trips before I got on the PCT this year, and I got on at Reds Meadow. At the mile, I probably between the miles I did at that point in the Sierras, and also the couple of trips, I probably had about 200 to 225 miles on my pack. And there's a carbon fiber slat in the back that connects your waist belt to the pack, and it just snapped. And it was really, really inconvenient because I had to go about 35 miles and had to go up and over Squaw Valley Ski Resort I had to do about 35 miles over 2 days with all the pack weight on my shoulders because my waist belt no longer worked. So I wasn't happy about that. The only good thing was I was getting off at Truckee right after it broke, and I was skipping up, and I was able to get Zpacks to send me 3 more of those pieces at no charge so I could repair my pack. So besides that, I'm telling you, I love it. It's very light. I want to say it's about 22 ounces. And I take a large frame and a large belt, so I'm a bigger guy. So I don't know, Joaquin, what size you are, but you can save some weight if you're not as big as me. And I've loved it. I've really loved it. Now, the only downfall, and it's nothing to do with the pack, is I have a 60 liter. When it first came out, I was one of the first people to get it when it came out with the Ultra material. And I was really enthralled and kind of investigated and researched the material, and I was really impressed with it, so that's why I got it. But at the time, they only had a 60 liter. Now they have a 50 and a 40. And I've told you guys all along I'm going smaller and lighter. And my pack is really empty now, my 60 liter, so right now it still works great, but I want a physically smaller and lighter pack. I have one that should be coming to me soon, one you've probably never heard of that I'm going to try out. I don't know if it's going to work, just like the tarp. I'm willing to try things out to get smaller and lighter, and when I get that, I'll do a video on it. I'm excited about it, and it's closer to the 40 liter size that I'm looking for. If it doesn't work out, then I may just have to spring for another new pack. I think they're $400 at Zpacks, but get the same pack I have, but in a 40 liter instead of 60. So to answer your question, I love it so far. I like everything about it. It's very simple, but vary the pockets. Everything's well thought out, and it's not too much bells and whistles, which I like. And anyway, that's my answer. I hope that helps you. Let me know what you do. All right, guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed that. That was a quicker, more refined what I've learned on the PCT episode. We're looking for a bunch of questions, so please give me more questions, and of course subscribe and like. There's ways as I get closer to the summer when I go to hike. If you'd like to support the channel and give a little bit just to help, it all helps. It goes into a special account for my hikes. There's ways to support the channel and me and these videos down in the description box, so go ahead and check that out if you'd like to donate. Love it. I also have a Patreon account. If you'd like to do that, I'll give you credit at the end of my videos, like this one. And that's it. It's a beautiful Southern California day. We've been through a ton of rain, and it's just beautiful today. It's about 70 degrees. So I'm just out here enjoying this and making a few videos, and that's it. Subscribe and like. We'll see you down the road. Bye.